Nigeria's technology ecosystem has emerged as one of the most vibrant and promising in Africa, now ranked number one on the continent for startup funding. Over the last decade, the country has witnessed explosive growth across startups, digital services, fintech, e-commerce, AI, and digital entrepreneurship. Cities such as Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt have become innovation hubs, with Lagos alone accounting for over 60% of Nigerians' tech startups. Fintech remains the dominant force, with Nigerians home to five of Africans' 9 unicorns, including Flutterwave, InterSwitch, Opay, Moneypoint, and lot more. Well, over 122 million Nigerians are now internet users, with 70% plus broadband penetration, making Nigerians Africa's largest digital market. AI adoption alone is also accelerated, with 45% of Nigerian startups integrating AI tools, according to Disrupt Africa, in particular in agriculture, health, and education tech. However, despite these achievements, several challenges continue to hinder the sector's full potential. Infrastructural deficit remains critical. Nigeria still faces 4,000 plus hours of annual power outages per business, forcing startups to spend up to 40% of operational costs on generators and diesel. Funding constraints persist beyond Series A, with only 18% of funded startups reaching Series B stage. Talent migration, or jackpot syndrome as it is often called, is draining capacity, as over 50,000 Nigerian tech professionals immigrated between 2020 to 2024, according to Stack Overflow data, while local universities graduate less than 20,000 job-ready software engineers annually against the 200,000 plus demand. Nigeria's tech industry now stands at a critical crossroad. While innovations and digital transformations are creating unprecedented opportunities, the future will depend on effective collaboration among government, the private sector, investors, educational institutions, and innovators, I beg your pardon. But closing the infrastructural gap, deepening local VC participation, and retaining talent will determine if Nigeria can build a sustainable, globally competitive digital economy that moves beyond Lagos to benefit all regions. So tonight on Korero, I'm being joined by engineer Chinonso Solomon Nebe, who is a mechanical engineer and also an innovation lead. And also I'm being joined tonight by Chuks Silas Umekwe, a business consultant and ICT expert, who will be helping us dissect all of these issues tonight. But first, gentlemen, it's a delight to have you join me on Korero. Good evening.
Thank you for having me. Mr. Sunday, it's always my pleasure.
All right, so let's even begin the conversation by first looking at the Nigerian digital space, the technological space as it stands right now. What do you make of the whole digital space from the last decade? Let's take it from year 2000 till now. Have we been able to hit the mark, or are we still crawling to hit the targets? Let's begin with you, Silas.
Okay, so the Nigeria tech space it's exploded actually. We've seen a lot of users, as it were. We've seen a lot of people adapt into the usage of technology. I think it was about 5 years ago. I was having a conversation with my dad, and he said that data is life. So imagine my dad in his 60s has already come to understand years ago that data is life. So you don't want to talk about the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha, right? So these people are born into the digital space. So when it comes to the adoption of tech, you already said it, we have high penetration. We have the highest penetration in the whole of Africa. If you talk about percentages, over 100 million Nigerians have internet access. That's massive. That's very massive. So
we still have a fall short of about 70%, even though we have hit 51.97% in that metrics. But the federal government have said the target is around 70%, so we've not been able to hit that mark, just to set the record straight.
Hitting the mark, the thing is, in the tech space, there are creators and there are consumers. So we have majorly heavy consumers of the internet. Heavy consumers. So if you are looking at hitting 70% of what? 70% of people that have Facebook, or 70% of people that used to do WhatsApp, right? So when it comes to internet penetration, that's what we're talking about.
But I'm talking about internet penetration also.
Yes.
But then you will also agree with me that millions of Nigerians are still remain offline, despite this whole broadband penetration, as you have rightly said. But we'll dive into that conversation. Let's just keep it and take it from the surface. Let me come to you at this point, Engineer Chinonso. We still talk about hardware in Nigeria and hardware importation in the country. Now, Nigeria still imports about 84% to 99% of its tech hardware, including the telecoms, for telecoms, and also the computer devices, that's the ICT goods, and it stands around it's 2.76% for local manufactured devices. Help us even understand. For a fintech app, as it stands, what is missing in the Nigerian ecosystem to build real devices, chips, or manufacturing infrastructure locally? Because we are standing at 2.76% in Nigeria when it has to do with manufacturing. Is it that the Nigerian mechanical engineer and computer engineers are sleeping on their toes?
Oh, thank you for your question. Basically, they are not sleeping.
All right.
I think this thing takes time. Nigeria as a whole is not built on technology. All these things involved. For example, you said over 70% of what we use, or over 90% of what we use, are being imported.
84%. That's
Basically, I'll tell you that those things are imported are basically coming from China. And let me give you a breakdown. I think between 1970 to 1990, China was not doing anything that has to do with manufacturing. I think the economy was basically fixed on agriculture. But move forward to 1990 to 2010. I think the government then decided, okay, it's high time we start doing things about this. At that time, you get products you see made in China. But I'll tell you, between 2010 to date, you can never see a product in China tagged made in China. It will be tagged created in China. That means they understood that there's a space for us to transit from a particular position to another. Nigeria is going to get there. I think in the past 5 years, we've seen a massive shift when it comes to, involving the economy, especially our budget, to technology. So I think with time, our educational system needs to change as well. Let me take you also to China. I always use China because when it comes to technology, currently in the world, China to me are number one. Now, if you check the educational system of China, between the age of 0 to 3, you're doing your normal preschool. Between the age of 5 to 10, or 5 to, let me say, 12, normal primary school, what we call primary school here. But before you get to higher institution in China, you have the ability to pick between two things. Do I want to become maybe an engineer, a doctor, or do I want to be a technician? Now, Nigeria have to actually get that as well, adopt that into our system, where we'll start training people that will see creating things as a career. When you see a roadside mechanic, for example, you see them as a nobody. Logically, people say they are nobody, but these are the people that make things really happen. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Now, the best thing Nigeria needs to do, and I know we're going to get there, is to actually, first of all, shaping the educational system of Nigeria. Where we get people that are ready to build, then it will start coming.
So till we get to that point right now, we are still crawling.
We are not.
So the engineers are largely sleeping on their toes. So we are saying the same thing but different perspective.
We're going to the point where engineers are beginning to work.
Well, they are beginning to work,
yes.
But at 2.76%, Nigerian engineers are currently sleeping.
No. Your question was more about manufacturing.
Yeah, manufacturing when it has to do with the tech space. Because I gave you a statistic of the import, 84%.
84%.
To 99%.
Now, I used China as an
Yeah,
example.
you use.
Exactly.
So
I
we
used
are
an
trying to
example.
narrow it back to Nigeria because
Nigeria.
the conversation centers around Nigeria.
Nigeria is still, I'll give you an example. Nigeria is still banking. Our core economic driver in Nigeria right now still remains oil. But I'll tell you, 20% of our GDP comes from tech. By next year, 2027, 21% of that will also, of our GDP will be determined by tech. That means in future time, things are going to be evolving. Come to think of it, about 5 to 6 years ago, we don't have anything as, let's say, Money Point. I don't think we have anything like Money Point 5 years ago.
But then all of the money that will be made, about $850 million will also be for foreign exchange capital flights. If we maintain that status quo of continually importing, and our imports still stand at 84%. So we're saying at this point that we're going to maintain that trajectory for next year if the numbers rise.
Yes, definitely.
All right. So let me come to you, Silas. Realistically, we are talking about Nigerian even becoming African digital hub compared to countries like Kenya, South Africa, India. But first, there's a challenge which has to do with the power infrastructure in Africa. But if the issue around power is not being sorted out, first, because a lot of Nigerians will say right now they don't enjoy at least 24 hours power supply. If these issues are not solved, can Nigerians confidently and realistically say that they will become Africa's digital hub compared to their counterparts in other countries?
Okay, so you see, the problem of Nigerian tech space is like a hydra. It doesn't have one head, right? And you must understand this. If we take a cue from what he said, we first talked about the kind of system we run. First, we need to understand that Nigeria is not we don't have a production mindset. We don't have a manufacturing mindset. And that was the first thing I said earlier. And you further buttressed it by saying 2-point-something%, right? So for us to get to that point where we are now the giants, like you say, compared to our other counterparts, first, we need a paradigm shift from the mind. And that's one of the things I do anytime I get a chance to talk to people. I say, first of all, you need to understand that until we get to the point where we are thinking, how do I use technology to solve a present problem? As against, how do I use technology to make money? If we don't get to that point, we are still going to be, moving around in circles. Do you understand? The average person feels, once I know tech, I can get remote jobs. And once I get remote jobs, people would, of course, will want to pay Nigerians that are into tech. Why? It's cheaper labor. It's cheaper labor. If they give you 300K, 500K in a month, you are going to grab it with your full chest. They won't pay that to their own devs abroad. So, because of that mindset, we are all full of consumption. So first, it's not just about power. That's what I'm trying to say. Do you understand? It's not just our power. Because if it's our power, there's solar. What will it cost to get a solar panel? And if you are really serious, you understand? Yes, of course, if there is steady power, it will make it a lot more easier, right? If there's steady power and other basic amenities. But you need to understand the system or the country we live in, all this exists. Other countries too have their own problems. But I think the first thing we should be looking at is not just about the basic amenities or what we expect Nigeria to give to us. Do you understand? Now, if you are expecting Nigerian engineers to start creating phones, we are not even creating enough food. That we have the raw material, we have the land. So first, we need actually to have a paradigm shift.
So we're not ready for that conversation yet.
No, for us to have that conversation, I think we still have to go back to the educational system. We still have to go back to the educational
talking
system.
about the education, let me come to engineer. About 50,000 plus Nigerians each year leave the country, which is what we call the Japa syndrome. Now that figure is just between year 2000 and year 2020 and to year 2024. What are 50,000 Nigerians? And most of these persons that have left the country, about 200,000 plus yearly from your field, the engineers are leaving the country. Is the 3MTT program training for 3 million Nigerians enough, or we are training people for export instead of retention as it stands right now? Because what happens is we build the Nigerian people to be able to change the narrative. But then again, these people that are supposed to maintain the status quo and also innovate for Nigerian, they tend to look elsewhere. Are we building for retention or we're building for exports?
All right. Basically, I'll tell you, if you check the statistics of those that are leaving, we said about, let me say 50%. I'll tell you for free that out of those 50% leaving Nigeria, less than 10% are not. Engineers will be between, let's say, 8 to 10%. Now, currently in Nigeria, the Nigerian educational system from beginning has framed a normal engineering student to have this mindset that you have the ability to build. Yes. But the ecosystem, which is Nigeria itself, might not give you that. For example, I studied mechanical engineering, majored basically in power. And I came out of the university and I saw the need that one thing people don't get is proper artisan service, for example. I decided to stay back. Someone else can choose, oh, I don't like Nigeria. I think what I want to do is not okay here. It's not going to give me what I want. Mind you, the basic engineering program you have in Nigeria that most people go for, electrical, mechanical, and civil. Currently in Nigeria, I will tell you that the real estate community is actually building very strong. So I don't see a reason why, as a civil engineer, I will leave Nigeria. That means I'm not seeing a market. For a mechanical engineer that I know that for sure. One thing people don't see very easily. I'm currently working on solar, for example. If I have steady electricity, there's no need for me doing that. If I'm an electrical electronics engineer, why am I going abroad? When I know for sure abroad everything is okay. Here in Nigeria, I think I'm going to get a good market. Yeah. Now, let me give you what we're doing. For example, I studied mechanical engineering. I have a firm of my own, Septec Services. We saw the gap between getting a qualified artisan to get to a customer. You can call someone and say, oh, I want to fix my car. The guy gives you an outrageous bill to fix your car. And even for you to get the mechanic to fix your car at the particular time you need it will be difficult. So we decided to create a system, an app, where you can easily go, I need a mechanic. On that app, you have a conversation with us. We tell you, okay, this is the mechanic we are sending to you. This is his profile. This person is sound. You're not going to have an issue. If he tells you a part is, for example, 2,000 naira, go to Mars, go to Jupiter, it is that same amount. Do you get? So we decided to create that environment. Engineers don't leave. People that leave, for example, let me give it's the medical doctors, they leave because, oh, I think I have a better space there to work because these people I have a better pay. But in Nigeria, you barely see engineers travel. It's not, and with the current way technology is going in Nigeria, I bet you in 2030, technology is basically going to be the new oil.
It's going to be the new oil. Let's talk about funding. I know that's the part you like a lot when it has to do with the money matters. But then, about $2 billion in equity funding has been given to the market in the last decade when it has to do with the tech space in Nigeria. And also, we've also recorded about $415 debt financing. Now, fintech in Nigeria have been the dominant driver of the Nigerian economy recently. But then, looking at the finance and where we are right now, is the fintech as an industry, as a sector of the economy, is it underfunded or overfunded based on the number of funds that comes in? And can we even realistically say that the number of funds that goes into fintech and into tech in general, the ecosystem of tech, we're getting the desired outputs?
Okay, so when you talk about funding and you call, it's quick. We are quick to just throw numbers around. What is how is this money being distributed? Who gets this money? Because I can tell you, I know a lot of people developing a whole lot of stuff that till tomorrow, their major problem is funding. Till tomorrow. You understand? I started developing some projects, a fintech project, sometime in, I think it was 2021. And one of the major problems I had was funding. You understand? So after doing all our only 2 local funding and the rest of them, because of the funds we were expecting was not what we got, you would have to now settle for people that are not there. You will now have to settle for substandard developers. Do you understand? And when you settle for a substandard developer, he will give you a substandard product. You understand? So you discover that most tech, there's this friend of mine that actually what he's building is massive, very massive, and the same problem, funding. So you discover that, yes, there are a whole lot of, we hear good big numbers coming, but let me explain something to you. It feels like we don't have a system that would actually get the people that are building. A lot of people are building. So funding is the basic funding
challenge.
Is a major problem.
So you're saying that despite the fact that it's on record, at least we have it on Guardian newspaper, that's on January the 2nd, 2024, that so far about $2 billion have been injected into the sector. You're still saying that the sector is underfunded.
Yes, the sector is underfunded.
Well,
if we say it's not underfunded, the question is, who is getting this $2 billion? I mean, you say you built an app. Did you get did you get a share of the $2 billion? Because I belong to a whole lot of groups for developers and, people that are producing crazy, fintech projects. Who is giving this money? Where are they sharing this money? What's the procedure to get this money?
So you're largely speaking for a majority of software developers in this regard, and also
Yes.
the fintech expert and the digital expert, that the sector is underfunded. Is that what you're saying? That majority of your colleagues don't even have access to funds? Is this what you're saying?
Absolutely. I'll say that any day and any time. If the Guardian brandishes an amount, a figure that this amount has been injected, so please, they should point out, there should be a list of, okay, these are the beneficiaries.
Well, we will look into that, but let me come back to engineer. Engineer, right now, the economy is tilting towards the artificial intelligence, where a lot of Nigerians right now, a lot of companies are already positioning themselves to take advantage of the multi-trillion dollar economy when it has to do with AI. But looking at Nigeria as it stands today, are we ready for artificial intelligence?
Nigeria is very ready. I'll take you back a bit. How I know that Nigeria is ready is this. For example, I have a mom that is about 60. 2 years ago, if you tell my mom to get an ATM card, she sees you as a witch or a wizard. She doesn't want it. She doesn't want anything that has to do with ATM card because she doesn't see it as a necessity. I'll be scammed. Are you getting me? But now, my mom has an ATM card, not just an ATM card. Anything that has to do with technology, she's doing it. Now, let me tell you how Nigeria is also ready. I think I went somewhere around Metama, Usama Street, and I was marveled to see that we have an electric car point where you can charge your electric car. That is technology. Nigeria is already tweaking there. 3 years ago, if you go to maybe, let's say, for example, let me use an example, any commercial bank, maybe you go to UBA Bank, you'll see queue. People want to make transfers, people want to do this. In the bank, I want to make a transfer. But now, every business owner just believe, hey, what bank? I use this one, transfer, everything is done. Now, Nigeria, our mentality is already there. Everybody believes that technology has come to stay. And that's why I believe, if you check the budget of Nigeria, I think the budget of Nigeria was about approximately, if I'm not mistaken, out of the 100% of that budget, I think the third part of it, the third largest part of it went to technology. About 21% of our budget went into technology. That means the government itself has actually embraced this as the new driver of the economy. I tell you for free, come 2030, we'll forget about oil.
But let's take that conversation even to the digital asset space. Are we ready for that conversation when it has to do with the cryptocurrency and digital space? I'm asking because that space is marred with a lot of irregularities.
Yes.
A lot of fraudulent activities has emerged from that sector. Are we ready for this technology?
The truth is, when you talk about crypto, it's not just Nigeria alone. I think the whole world now we are. I think everybody's eyes becoming open. You understand? Because technology has come to stay. It has come to stay. Whether it's coming in the form of the blockchain tech, or it's coming in the form of the artificial intelligence, or if it's coming in the form of fintechs, edutechs, there's literally no tech that we don't have. IoTs, Internet of Things. People want to enter their houses and they clap hands and light goes off. That's AI. A lot of the real estate companies you see now, if you check their flyers, you see smart homes. What are smart homes? Smart homes are AI-powered homes. That if once the whole house hears me do my finger like this, the whole light goes off. If I clap, light will turn to blue. All those things, there's Internet of Things. So we cannot say that we are not ready yet. We are absolutely very ready. But you see, I used to say something. When any technology comes into play, there are two sets of people that benefit from it. The first set of people are those people that came in immediately came out. Now, let's take the internet as an example. When the internet boom came, a lot of people were made billionaires. The Google brothers, Yahoo, and Microsoft and the rest of them, a lot of people made a whole lot of money at the initial internet boom. Well, guess what? A lot of people are still making more money than those guys. The Zuckerbergs, the Edimos. Now, those second sets are people that have decided not to make money because they didn't come early enough, but they've decided to now build on the technology. That's the same thing we saw when crypto came out. When crypto first came, people that got into it early enough made a killing.
And they lost a lot of money also.
No, let me explain. We'll get there. Let me explain something.
I'm in a hurry. Let's get there.
Okay, let's get there. So,
please.
People made a lot of money.
And they lost a lot of money.
It started. But like I said, the people that will make money, there are two sets of people that make money. People that came in early enough. So if you did not come that early, you are only going to make money from being in the second part. And the being in the second part is building on the technology. So if you expect to ride the wave of a new technology for almost 10 years, you're joking. You understand? So the people that came in, bought into it, made a lot of money. People that came in late lost a lot of money.
You've said that over. But then there is also this speculation. Let me bring this to engineer. That a lot of Nigerians will lose their jobs as a result of AI and other innovation that is currently going on. Help us understand this. Should we be afraid?
No, I had this. Some people should be afraid.
Yes, actually.
But those in my field, engineers should not be afraid. No matter how on earth, even if
you know what I'm asking, because the laugh right now seems is a scary laugh. So we need
now let me make
please go ahead.
As an engineer,
let's
assume I'm a civil engineer. Definitely, I have people that work for me. I have artisans that will lay blocks and every other thing. Will you tell me there is an AI tool or any AI machine that will do it the same way a human will do it for me?
Perhaps the robotics can also
replace
How many robots will do that? That's what they see. There are some fields. That I'm not saying AI people won't lose. What I always tell people, sometimes when I speak to my staffs, I tell them, just evolve with the trend.
True.
As AI is coming up, build yourself towards that path. Work with the AI. So that when it's time for people to lose their job, you won't lose your own job because you're moving with AI. In engineering space, I don't. Will any AI tool or maybe any robot come and fix no, they can just tell me, okay, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do. But you will need a human touch to do that. So there are some fields that maybe when it comes to, let me say, people that are into humanitarian, maybe, or sorry to say, your job, an AI machine can handle this.
Well,
see,
no, it's interesting how you omitted engineering and you took out. Let me allow you.
Let me
to,
say
please.
something. You see, I keep telling people, AI will not replace anybody's job. But this is the thing, why you should be scared. People that know how to use AI will replace you.
Okay, that's the scary part.
That's the scary part. And that's exactly what he said. Move with the trend. AI in itself will not replace nobody. But the people that know how to use AI, they are coming for your job.
So invariably, come 2030, AI will worsen unemployment in Nigeria by automating jobs faster than new opportunities are created. Is this what we are saying?
No, actually, no.
Right.
And why will I say no? Because every technology comes with its opportunity. Do you understand? With AI, for instance, I've been able to build 3 powerful projects in 3 months. Projects I've been trying to build for 5 years. Do you know what that is? Do you know how many people are going to benefit from that alone? Do you understand? So AI gives us wings. You get the idea. With AI, you implement.
Well, perhaps it gives you wing when you are domiciled in the urban community, or you don't think so?
No, let me come in.
All right.
By January 2027, Septech Services were coming out with our academy, the Septech Artisans Academy. And one thing in our module, or one thing in our curriculum, is AI. Now, the academy is basically for just those between the age of 15 and above. I am done with school. I want to get a hand job. I want to be a mechanic. I want to be a tiler. I want to know how to do POP. When you come to us, we take you where you learn that for 1 year. And during that 1 year, every Friday and Saturday, you're coming basically Fridays for you to learn AI too. And Saturdays for you to learn how to do your normal bargains, how you talk to customers. But for the next 1 year, you're learning what you can do with your hands. On Fridays, you have the ability to learn how to
before Samtech begin to advertise, let's hold let's hold the thoughts there.
Okay.
As a national project,
Yes.
shouldn't the conversation be rather that we should invest more into AI research and also prioritize software development or technological manufacturing to achieve a long-term economic transformation for all Nigerians right now in both primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions in order to reposition the population in what is to come? Because what it seems right now, the future seems very blurry for persons that are not science inclined. That's what it seems right now, because you made example of even a journalist, I exempted engineering, but then help us understand this.
Okay, now that boils down to the first thing I said when I started my introduction. I said something about China, and I categorically explained to you that it has to do with the educational system.
That's why I asked, are we ready for that conversation?
Now, this is it. Nothing stops. I think in some schools, I think there was a time I was hearing things about they are bringing back history to Nigerian secondary school curriculum. Now, I'll tell you, as a child, while growing up, when I was in secondary school, there's this joy I have each time we are having computer class. Not just computer class, but we are going to our computer lab.
Computer room.
Are you guessing when you're going to computer room? I schooled here in Abuja, Yakasa precisely. Anytime we are going to our computer room, I will be very happy. You just go and play with some things. Nigeria, basically, we are kind of static learners. We learn when we play with things. Now, it's very simple. If we want to take everybody along, the government is very... AI should be part of their secondary school curriculum. Not even just secondary school. Because in China, you have children between the age of 7 and 8 doing 7 to 10 years, doing things that are exceptional. And when you bring that to Nigeria, those are the age in primary school. So from our primary school to secondary school, it should be mandatory. Since we are tweeting towards AI, come 2030, start preparing those that will man that thing from now.
And if you catch them early, you're not afraid that the system can be abused?
Not at all. Not at all.
So AI cannot...
You see, the problem we have in Nigeria is not policy making. You understand? We have very beautiful policies that backs AI, backs blockchain, backs the tech space, but nobody's implementing anything. We've spoken about hubs will be created. People will do this one. If you have an idea, I mean, I read Issa Pantami's policies on, most of all these things. Beautiful on paper. But the question really is, are we ready? And that question, I think, should go to, our leaders. Because we have them on paper. We have them on paper. Beautiful policies, beautiful strategies. But we have zero implementation. Zero. Absolutely zero implementation. So, like he said, it must start from the grassroots. And one of the things I want you to understand is, we should be able to forecast where we are heading and make provisions now. Now, if you look at some years ago when I was trying to get into Canada, and the jobs that were available, I looked at it and I'm like, I'll leave Nigeria here, go Canada, go to drive Dangote. Like, why? Or I'm going into the health sector. So I did a little research. Why are these people looking for these guys? These professions they say they are looking for, why are they looking for them? Then only to find out that they did a forecast and they discovered 70% of our doctors, 70% of our nurses, 70% of social field, they are within so age. So within the next 10, 15 years, they will be finished. They will all retire. So we will have a deficit. So what did they do? They opened their arms to everybody coming in. That's the Japa syndrome. So if we can do a forecast, I say, okay, where is this country going to? When we say, okay, we are heading into the tech space, then we should now start implementing some of these things from the curriculum.
Well, you've talked about the curriculum. Recall I asked a very salient question when it has to do with, should we be afraid of losing our jobs when due to the introduction of AI and other innovation going on right now in the tech ecosystem.
Yes.
Now, you are creating, or you've created an app or a website that will invariably relegate approximately 50,000 teachers out of job. Yes.
Okay.
Because right now, lecturers will have no business being trying to grade their students. Of course, you've called the name of that app, I think, Image Maker,
Niger
Image AI Marker.
Niger AI Marker.
But looking at what you've created, and you're saying that AI will not phase out people's job. But what you've created right now is already doing that. Is there hope?
Again, let me explain briefly what we created. We created...
I'm coming to the same time because it's the same thing here.
Niger AI Marker. And the essence of creating the
50,000 teachers, don't forget to
I will.
50,000 teachers will lose their jobs.
Now, the job of Niger AI Marker is to use the curriculum, use the lesson plan, use the lesson notes, create exams using AI, mark the scripts using AI,
yes.
Then give reports both to the teacher, to the administrator, to the proprietor and all of that. Now, but the beautiful thing of what we created is that this app doesn't just create exams. It follows Bloom's taxonomy. And let me tell you why. Presently, we just saw that JAMB reduced cutoff from 200 to 100 for College of Education. Do you know what that means? Let me bring into perspective. It means that if you get 25%, you pass to be a teacher. We should be scared. We should be scared. That means the people that failed are the people that should go to class to teach the next generation. So what did I decide to do? I decided, okay, since we have a problem because the students that are being brought out of school to become teachers are not well trained, why not we create tools that we assist them? That's why when we are creating exams, I've seen a child's exam before, and you look at the exam, you are seeing what is the name of your geography teacher. As a question. What's that about? What are you testing? What are you testing? What has that got to do with geography?
Speed, accuracy, and intelligence.
Speed,
accuracy, and intelligence.
You know, so what I'm trying to say is what we've created.
Based on what you've observed, you try to fizzle out people's jobs.
No, what we have created is a support. Now,
to mark scripts, to set the exam, then what
to
is the role
help
of the teacher?
Now, you see, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
The teacher, most of the teachers don't even know what Bloom's taxonomy is. There are 3 types of teachers. People that actually went to school to learn how to teach. They did College of Education, they have NCE. Then there's the second set of teachers, people that did engineering. They finished, they find work, they not see. They stumbled into a school. Then they now liked it. They are not trained teachers. Accidental discharge. Then there is the last set. These are the ones. These are the kind of teachers you don't want to jam anywhere in your life. These ones, they hate teaching. They stumbled into teaching. They are angry. When you see all these things on TV where teacher slap student, the eye come out. These are those type of people. So if you must have a system, an educational system that would work, we must start creating tools that will assist the teacher.
But you're not only the person on this card. Semtech also have vowed to ensure that a lot of engineers lose their job. Approximately 20,000 engineers are going to be losing their jobs right now. Based on
why would you do that?
Let's bring it back to you. Please help us understand. You were talking about AI, and of course, this is a tech eco space. But then, should we be afraid? You've determined to fizzle out 50,000 teachers. You have targeted 20,000 engineers and mechanical engineers and roadside mechanics.
I'm really impressed with what he did.
And we should be impressed also that put together that is about 70,000 unemployment both of you are creating or targeting to create. Except I'm wrong. So I stand corrected. Please put us in perspective.
Because I actually taught for like 10 years of my life, and I understand the stress when it comes to setting exam questions, marking them. I can take that.
You can relate.
The problem is actually recording. Thank you so much for helping them there. Now it's a support system. It's a support system. The same way Septech. What we are doing, our platform is just to support artisans. We are not taking them on. We are just telling them, come. There's a better way. Come and use AI. With your phone, you can easily get someone to work for. Just the way you are sitting down here, maybe something is wrong with your car and you want to leave. You can easily book a boat, for example.
Yeah.
You can book a ride. Now, the same way, you're in your house and suddenly you just notice a blackout. You're stranded. You pick up your phone, go to the Septech app, search for an engineer, an electrician. You get the closest one close to your house. You bargain price. The person comes to your house and fix your job for you. I didn't take job from I only make the job
made it accessible.
Very accessible for you. Using what? Technology. It's just simple. So we are not taking jobs. We are making it easier for both the artisan. Because if you have a phone, I know someone that is a mechanic. He just have a shop. So just assume that maybe someone don't come to your shop. You don't know this person. You can just tell, please, I just got your number. Please, can you come to this place and work for me? So we are just
you said something about training, that 1 year training.
Yes.
You said 15 years something. So please.
All right. So both of you will do that part of it after my show. But of course, it's my show. But then, on a lighter note, but coming back to the old policies around them, you've said we have fantastic policy, but I'm curious from both of your angles, how can we even create a balance, a policy balance when it has to do with when it concerns cybersecurity, data and consumer protection, in order for us to have a robust society looking at the eco space right now? Because there tend to be a disconnect between the policies, the innovation, cybersecurity, data privacy, and consumers protection. How do we create a balance in this regard? Let's even begin with you in this regard as we begin to wrap up.
Okay, so first of all, this is where people like National Orientation Agency comes in. Do you understand? It's not to teach people only the new national anthem that is their work. You understand? We are in a digital space. You need to understand that most of the people that their Facebook and their social media and all their stuffs are hacked is because they use their phone number for password. Once you use your phone number for password, if so long as it's a number, in a few seconds, any app will break into it. Do you understand? So, first of all, we need serious orientation. And that's why anybody that is doing anything to educate people, whether they are educating the younger ones, they are educating the aged, anybody doing anything to educate people on tech, basically, is doing a whole lot of good. And that was why I was trying to commend him on what he said. Anybody doing anything at all, and catching them young was actually the very best thing, right? And we need to be very conscious of it. That means we should do it with all, what's the word I'm looking for? Because our youths now, our children now, they are online. But what are they doing? Social media. UK last week banned 16 years old from social media. Do you understand? So we need to actually focus on intentionality is the word I'm looking for. We need to be intentional.
Let's get him talk to us, because I've been signaled again. Our time is fast spent. Let me get him talk. In this regard, what policies? How can we create a policy balance in this regard?
When it comes to data security and the rest, the government already is doing something. I'll use my own company as an example. Sorry to say I'm not advertising. I think one of the key things we did for most of our artisans, just to make sure that everybody is safe, is that before you register, you must have an NIN. And that NIN, I believe, is connected to anything that has to do with you. Because currently in Nigeria, you cannot even have an international passport without an NIN.
Yeah. True.
So we made it possible that on that alone, your NIN must be there. We'll do our proper KYC, know who we are working with, know our customers and the rest. So just as he said, I think the National Orientation Agency has so many things to do, send awareness. Sometimes I think they are doing their best, because sometimes I pick up my phone, I just get notification on some security tips.
Why they know they send to me now?
When we see the National Orientation Agency and also the NCC, we will get to ask if it is a selective format that is being used to send, because you're asking why they don't send to you. Of course, they are watching right now, and they'll be able to give you feedback why they don't send. But on this note, I want to say thank you so much, Silas, and also Engineer, for finding out time to be with us here on Korero. I want to appreciate both of you for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, viewers, this is how far we can go tonight on the show. Do not forget that you can leave your thoughts. You can leave your comments on our various social media handle currently showing on your screen. And you can also download the RapidTV app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. Don't forget that you can also follow us and follow us on various platforms, like I said before, and it's already showing on your screen. My name is Godwin Sunday. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Do enjoy the rest of your night rest. Bye for now.